Yes, everyone, welcome back to In the Red Corner podcast with me, Ross. Tonight, I've got the lads from the Wbkb on, Kev and Gilly. We've got a show. It's going to be amazing again. I'll be doing the ring announcing for the show. Can't wait. The first one was unbelievable. Cumbria's very first and only. Some great fights on the card, but we'll be doing that. They're all announced on the Wbkb Instagram page. You can go over there, give them a follow. But we're going to be doing a podcast every Thursday night, round about this time, 8 o'clock-ish, depending if people turn up on time. So stay tuned for that every Thursday up until the show. For the next 8 or 9 weeks, going to have the fighters on, talking to them, finding out about them, finding out about the background, finding out what they're going to do to each other. It's going to be class. So without further ado, I'll bring on Kevin Gilly. Here they are. Yes, lads, how are you doing?
Hello, lads. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Well?
Yeah, great. Tonight we've got we're announcing the special guest referee as well.
Yes, we are. We're excited.
Well, two special guest referees, really, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got, like you say, our referees for the event. Not one, but two fantastic referees who I'm sure we're going to keep law and order on the night and make sure the fights are flowing and everything's going to be fantastic with these two guys at the wheel on the night. We're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be brilliant. The first one was was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Like you say, it couldn't have gone any better for us. You know, like I say, we just, like I said, it was trailblazing. Cumbria's first ever event. We really didn't know how it was going to be. You know, you can make the best plans in the world, but it doesn't always mean that they come to fruition.
It was how the benefit was going to be perceived, wasn't it? But that was the big one for us, and it just showed everybody what the sport it was. You know, that it's not the thuggish sport that everyone believed it to be. So it was a well-organised event, you know, professional. The fights was shit hot. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was. And it can't have been that bad for you. I know you were pulling your hair out at some points, but
hey,
watch what was left of his eye. The solar panel there.
Before that.
But you decided to put on another show. Do you want to give the dates and everything and the venue?
Yeah, like you say, everything's fantastic, Ross. Really looking forward now to the next show, the WBKB 2 show on the 23rd of March. The venue's going to be absolutely fantastic. We don't want to spoil it too much, but we've got so many visual and sort of, the sound, the visuals. This show's going to be on the next level, and I think the people who are going to come on the night, it's going to be a night that folk are going to remember for a long time. I thought the quality of the fights on the first show was really good, but I do think we've raised the bar on the second show. I think some of these fights are real high quality. We've got title fights. We've got fights for the number one contender for the right to fight for titles at our show in the summer. Every fight there's something on the line.
Established fighters, aren't they? The tough guys that we've got on, the well-known lads as well. I will say though, the support that we've had from the CRL guys, the guys from the factory itself where we're having it, has been absolutely fantastic. So we're going to give them a big thanks, Ross, for all the help and everything that they've been doing with us, because their ideas is exactly what we're after. We want to light it up. We want it to be seen. We want it to be heard. It's going to be big.
Yeah, like I say, the lads at CRL have massively taken the stress out of this show for us. They've bent over. They've really jumped over big hurdles for us, and they're on board with everything that we've got planned. And we're so excited now. Really can't wait. I wish it was tomorrow, to be honest with you, Ross.
It's not too far away, though, is it? It's only a few weeks away. We're talking 8 or 9 weeks, isn't it?
8 weeks, is it?
Yeah, pretty much, like I say, just under 2 months now. Like I said, the response from the public's been fantastic. We allocated 200 VIP spaces, 20 tables. They've all sold out. In terms of standard tickets, they're also very limited. Like I say, we've got guys who are fighting, who are out there selling tickets, promote themselves. So there really isn't many tickets. So if there's people out there watching this who haven't got the tickets, just get your tickets. You don't want to
just for the record, this isn't a sales pitch either. If the VIPs have sold out, they have. So there is no VIPs left. The standards, they're going fast. So if anyone, if there is last minute people, get them bought now, because I'm confident it's going to be a sellout.
You can get them by going over the WBKB Instagram page or Facebook page. There's a contact phone number on there, isn't there, to get the tickets?
There is.
And Cumbria is getting right behind it as well, aren't they? The people
Honestly,
from
it's
Cumbria
fantastic, Ross. It's took off. It really has took off massive. The attention it's getting, just off everybody, it's fantastic. It really is. It's good.
Yeah, there was a couple of great articles in the newspaper and things like that as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, and do you know something? I think it was really flattering that sort of the chief sports reporter of Such Is the News and Star, which is Cumbria's premier newspaper, got in touch with us and wanted to speak to us, because I think again it just shows the legitimacy of the sport, and and it just rubber stamps what we're doing as an organisation in terms of the fighters and things like that. So it was fantastic to receive that acknowledgement and for them to put a focus on us and what we're trying to do for the sport of bare knuckle boxing in Cumbria.
Yeah, brilliant. We've got, like I say, 2 special guest referees that we're going to announce tonight as well. Should we bring the first one on?
So without further ado,
well, funny enough, Ross, the first one comes on about his hair loss. When I first met this guy 12 years ago, I had a really good head of black hair, and I'm still convinced to this day that meeting this guy is the reason why I'm sort of now follically challenged. But like you say, he's somebody who's respected all over. A real sage of the fight. Honestly,
he's one of ours.
One of our best mates, and he's a fantastic referee. Done a brilliant job for us, so we can bring him in and he can take over talking for us.
While we get a chance.
Dave Stron, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you for the lovely introduction. That was very nice, wasn't it?
Yes.
You only say things like that in public. To me face, they just call us butts and shite.
Can I just quickly add, all this talk about was going to, recruiting civilians to fight the war with Russia. There's the first man in line for the constriction, if ever there is one. Look at that background. Look at that setup. There's
they'd have to come to Cumberland,
ready to defend these isles.
As long as they weren't bothered with Cumberland, they could have the fucking rest of it for me. I'm not bothered.
For the record, he's actually in a house, not under a bridge somewhere.
I look smart on the night though, don't I? I look smart in one of them $3.99 t-shirts that you give us as a referee.
Well, at least you got one.
Fruit of the loom.
I didn't bid, and I had to give them it back at the end of the night as well. They sold it outside.
You did not at all.
I'll maybe get that one.
That's yours, Ross. What next then?
What's that to you, Ross?
Brilliant. Dave, you were the referee at the first show. You've done a fantastic job and everything like that. I mean, the rule set wise, you're allowed to clinch. It's a 10 count. Do you want to give us a bit of an insight in that?
Just them bits like you say, really, it's the clinch. That's the thing. It's very, very similar to ref and boxing, to be honest. I've refed a lot of boxing. And I've been involved in boxing for a long time. Done a bit of stuff with mixed martial arts and that as well. Obviously cornered Kev and coached Kev when he became British champion. So a little bit of bare knuckle experience, which obviously helps. But I make sure before the events I have a swat up on the rules and that. Like the week of the show, it's very much in my mind because you want to get it right. And you can fuck it up as ref, can't you? So there is a little bit of pressure. But I take it fairly seriously. And I enjoy it. You know what? You get the best view in the house.
True.
I'll be honest, I've been around the fight game forever. Like 27 years now, I think I've been around the fight game. Some of the fucking cracks, I still find them like, oh, do you know, like I wince a bit. Those points, Will Cairns and Will Brand last time was a fucking barnstormer, wasn't it? As predicted, I called that as fight of the night.
That was a great atmosphere that day, wasn't it? Everyone shouting in the background when he was getting back.
Fucking brilliant, mate.
Yeah,
do you know what? Like, it was brilliant being in there. Probably even better from the crowd because you're not having to worry about people's safety and that. You can just enjoy for the fight, can't you? When you're in there, you're all sort of conscious of, sort of looking after people. But it is still very, very enjoyable being that close to the action. And I can't wait to do it again. I'll be honest, if you hadn't asked us for the first gen, I'd never spot you again as long as we all live.
the
I actually said to Alex Cook 2 days before you rang me. I said to Alex Cook, I goes, I wonder if they'll get to referee. I goes, I wonder if they'll ask me. I says, they better fucking ask me, you know. So when you rang us, do you know what I'm saying? Well, I knew everyone was on holiday. That's why I said they'll have to ring me. But no, I was over the moon when you asked us. And honestly, when you said I got a pint of shandy and a bag of crisps for doing it as well, fuck me, done deal. Really looking forward to doing it again. Really looking forward to some of the fights. Sean Kissane versus Parky.
Yeah.
That's going to be good. That's going to be exciting. Both very tough lads. Obviously, Bartek fought Sean down on the, what you call it, BKFC.
BKFC Prospect Show.
Right, he did.
Sure.
Yeah,
And you know, right, Bartek is a banger. Bartek punches really fucking hard. And Sean took them all, didn't he? He's a big, strong, tough lad. And he can box as well.
He kept coming forward as well, didn't he? Didn't take a step back.
No, he didn't. He didn't. And you know, like when he did get hurt, he always roared back. He'll be a right handful for Dan. But Dan also is a right handful, isn't he? Very big, strong lad for the weight.
Experienced fighter, Dave. You know, MMA
very, very well
but he's an
conditioned.
experienced fighter, all the rest.
That's it. Great conditioning, hasn't he? And like you say, when he gets down in a nasty fight, he knows what to do, doesn't he? As does Sean, as he showed in that last time. So, like I say, really looking forward to reffing that. I tell you what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to my man Martin Smith. I hope I'm reffing his fight. I hope can I make that as a request? Can I ref Martin Smith's fight? Because I do love watching him. He keeps threatening to come and do a bit of training with us at some point, and I hope he does. But you know, I've watched him box on my own show a few times. Watched him on the bare knuckle with yours, and I just think he's brilliant. He's an absolute character, isn't he? He's as tough as all fucking boots, isn't he? And he'll never be in a bad fight. Last time he boxed on my show, he loved boxing. It was fight of the night, and it was brilliant.
I think it's his sense of humour, his videos that he does there as well. You know,
brilliant, mate. His comedy fucking gold.
And there's a lot more that we're going to put in here on the site, obviously, but the videos he sends, it's just normal people don't think of what he does. He's brilliant.
He's like a sort of. He's like a little sort of mini cult star, isn't he? He's really funny.
Yeah,
he's awesome. Obviously, not one that I'm repping, but Bartek's honestly against that Nathan lad. I'll be honest, I honestly think Bartek's just going to splatter him.
Well,
I know obviously
from the other side, I've got Nathan. I'll probably come on with. So that was what we'll announce things, obviously, because they'll be getting interviewed together, like podcasting. But Nathan's all over this as well. Dave, honestly,
I know he is, and do you know what? I know he's dead confident, but I'll be honest. Technically, he's not on Bartek's level, is he? He's not right for me. I know you lads have made the fight, and you think it's a good fight. From my end, as Bartek's clutch, and I know there's been a wee bit of to and fro in between with messages and whatnot.
The banter's been brilliant.
Bartek a bit. My 2 pence worth for the smack talk is honestly Bartek splatters him. He just hits him with left hands all night. I mean, he ain't best looking lad at well, Nathan, is he? He'll be even uglier after this.
Right.
Only joking, Nathan. Best of luck on night, pal, because you'll need it. Gary Taylor versus Matt Sutton as well. Again, Matt's another fighter that I know he's boxed on the show as well. He boxed Shane Rowe. Seen him box a couple of other times. Gary will beat him and all. Jab his head off.
Great fight. You lads have done a great job matchmaking again. You know, these lads that are taking the fights and things like that. I mean, good level of, you know, it's not just people off the street. These are good level of bare knuckle boxers, and so well done to you for sorting that out, because it's a difficult job matchmaking.
Yeah, and because what we are really keen on, Ross, is we want the 50-50 fights. We don't want these fights where there's been an 11-second knockout, and I know in bare knuckle it can happen, anything can happen.
Good knockouts always good.
But ideally, you know, we want good evenly matched fights where, you know, guys, it's a war, and both guys ideally are left standing at the end of the fight. That's our ultimate aim. you know, we're looking at, like I say, just matching these guys fairly, and I think that's what we've got. I think if you look at the fight card, I really do think that we've pretty much got, you know, 50-50 fights right across the board. You know, like you say, some really good fights there. I mean, Dave touched on Martin Smith. Martin's opponent, unfortunately, Andy Nunn had to drop out for personal reasons. Dan Mohamed's dropped in. Dan's obviously got a really good pedigree. I believe he does some training with Mick Terrill's camp. So, you know, he's definitely going to be no mug. He's coming from Glasgow to win that fight. You know, Johnny Goodall's fighting Grant Hocking, and Johnny's really putting in the hard yards, but Grant's got some big ambitions of his own. You know, there's so much at stake in these fights, and it's, you know, it's like
Russell back on the show as well. I mean, you've got Russell that was on the last show. He's back. He's trained hard. He's one of them lads he's come back from a loss, which takes a lot of balls, Ross. I mean, my first fight, I've told you, when you've had your face broke like that, you don't want. There's got to be there's a touch of something wrong with all of us that do that sport. But for Russell to come back and have another go, he's up against a tough opponent, Jamie Christopher. It'll be a belter fight, you know. But Russell's promising us he's coming back, he's coming all in, the same as Jamie's. That's going to be an all-out war. They're going to go out swinging. Someone's going to go down with that.
And then obviously on top of that, we've got our welterweight title fight. We've got Jack Tugdale versus Will Cairns. Jack's out of the Cobra's den with Seamus Devlin. He's absolutely training the house down, and we all know how tough Will Cairns is. You know, if he wins that fight, he'll deserve the title.
Honestly, again, he's great. Honestly, he was brilliant versus Will Brand. Gloved or ungloved, his quality. He's better than some pros. Better than some pro boxers, like you say, Will. Bags of skills and that. He can really, really, really fucking fight, man. Yeah,
agree. And then obviously, Ross, we'll have one eye on our heavyweight main event, because obviously we've scheduled it to be Brian Morrow versus Paul Doherty. Again, Paul's fantastic boxer out of Blackpool. He's come up Cumbria in the past and picked up some notable wins. He beat Gary Teeney for a title in Cumbria. Real tough guy who's really training well. Bry's obviously got a big opportunity this Saturday. He's got a late notice fight for BKB down in the O2 Arena in London. So obviously we'll have to wait and see how Bry comes through that fight. But obviously all at Wbkb want to wish Bry the very best of luck. It's a massive opportunity. You talk about a bloke who not long ago took himself off to Ukraine to fight. You know, this guy, he's done street, like the sort of no rules fighting on the street. That guy's really taken every single opportunity, and you really have to do nothing but tip your hat to somebody like Brian Morrow, who's really sort of just taken every single opportunity that the sport's given to him and trying to take it with both hands. So good luck to Brian for Saturday, and obviously we'll monitor how he gets on after that with regards to our heavyweight main event.
It's going to be brilliant. Just the atmosphere last time and everything, though, the way the crowd got behind the fighters, you know, the crowd dragged some of them fighters back to their feet, didn't it? The way they were like chanting and shouting, and just the energy in there was unbelievable. I can't wait for it.
Absolutely, mate. And like obviously we've got our second referee as well, who's going to bring a lot to the event. And we're absolutely honoured that he's taken us up on that opportunity. Yeah, there he is with his socks on his hand.
Who is it?
Yes, Danny the Bastard Christie.
Danny the Bastard Christie, special guest referee.
Yes, our man.
So we're absolutely delighted that Danny's coming on board and he's going to referee with a former boxing opponent of his, because obviously many moons ago Dave and Danny clashed in
a... Yeah, many moons ago Danny kicked me ass in Carlisle.
But yeah, so we reached out to Danny and we asked him if he would come on board and be part of the team officiating the event. He came to the first event, as everybody knows, and he was absolutely the perfect gentleman, taking photos with people in the crowd, and you know, he was fantastic. So it was a natural choice when we needed a second referee to assist us on the night. Danny was the perfect choice, and we really are honoured that he's come on board as part of the team. And I think it's fair to say, with him and Dave in charge of the refereeing, there'll be no divvies around here on that night, Mush. That's for certain.
That's right. Yeah.
It's. I'm just trying to get that picture up there. There he is. Yeah, I spoke to him on Monday, and he was supposed to come on the podcast, but I think he's decided to to take himself away. He's been sparring today down in Liverpool with Luke Nevin at the Hard Hitters gym. So he's probably asleep now. Not because he's been hurt or knocked out or anything, just likes an early night. But yeah, absolutely buzzing for that, to get him on the, you know, as a special guest referee. And like you say, he was there last time. Danny's just someone that people want to talk to, and, you know, they like being around, isn't it? You know, he's well thought of, and you know, to get him on the show is an absolute coup, isn't it? Brilliant. It's because people can talk to him, Ross. You know, he's one of them approachable people. He's just got that about him. You know, he's someone that you can go over to, and he just right away, it's a friendly banter that he's got. So yeah, like you said, he's a well-known face. You know, he's our champ, isn't he? He's the British champ. So this is a guy we've got on our show. And he's a Cumbrian lad. You know, it's great for us all. I think it's good to bring bare knuckle boxing, all the faces, the talent that we've got in our area. It's here, and we're proving it now. Yeah, and I know you said a few minutes ago as well about a summer show. Is there much you can say about that yet? Or we're just going to deal with this one first? I'll go with that one. So we've already started us. I mean, granted, there's a lot of work to do with this one, but we're already talking about the summer show. You know, we're looking at an outdoor event this time. We're going to do under a canopy, of course. I was going to say, outdoor event in Cumbria means nothing. Exactly. You're right. That's why we'll still be under the canopy. But each time what we're aiming for is bigger and better. You know, the fighters, the talent that we're getting. You know, the people that's coming to watch. I mean, the referees that we're getting. You know, each time we just want one step better. That's what we're after.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. We've got Danny. He's one step better than Dave. Yeah, thanks. Yes. Well, yeah, we've upgraded the ref because we just had some wanker locally, just one of our mates, couldn't get no one else, so we got him. See, I said before, they were dead nice when I came on. Oh, hi, Dave, he's a fucking great lad. This, that, number well respected. Oh, hi, we upgraded from the shit ref last time to the fucking superstar.
And on top of that, Dave, likes Vaseline better than you do.
That's another one of our judges.
Carl
Ward, that was the
our outside, who didn't sort of all the.
My assistant, Carl Ward was my assistant for the night, wasn't he? What he was.
For anyone who knows, these two argue like cat and dog. Carl and Dave are best mates, but they argue like two little girls. And when you watch the social medias, this is why I say it was his little bitch. The banter between, this is what we've got though, Ross. You know, the team that we've got, this is the banter that we've got between us all. Like, we've known each other from young, you know, we've grew up, we've fought, we've trained, blood, sweat and tears from us all. We've done it together. You know, this is what makes us so.
The crack's great with the full thing. Yeah. The crack with the full thing's great. You know, like the day before the show, whenever he's coming to the weigh-ins and that. Yeah. It's nice. It's like that pally thing with everyone, isn't it? And you just know when you're there, it's going to be a good night after it. Yeah, 100%. It's the little extra things that you've done as well. You know, in sorting out the fighters. I mean, I know it was the young lad that done it. He sorted out the fighters, like some sweets and all that kind of stuff for the changing rooms and that, didn't it? And you know, all the fighters said how well looked after they were when they came up here. And I think that's testament to, you know, the fighters wanting to come back onto the show and fight for you as well. Referees thinking.
And I think that's, to be honest with you, Ross, that's the big thing. It's like you say, everything that we do is centered around the fighters, because these lads are valuable commodities. You know, they're putting it all on the line. And as promoters, our ethos is that promoters promote. It's great that lads can sell tickets. Don't get us wrong, but it's our job to get the posters out, to do the right promotion and sell the product. And it's their job to train their asses off and coming in the best possible condition and give us the fights that they can. Because I think, you know, when you get two guys who are fully focused and come in the best possible versions of themselves, that's when you get the best fights. You know, you can tell when one guy's a little bit off and things like that. It tells in the way that fights play out. So our thing is, like you say, you know, we want to look after these guys, we want to make them feel valued, and we want to look after them and put them first. And I think that shows, like I said, the first show was quite a hard match. You know, we struggle to match fights at times. We scratch our heads. This time we've had so many fighters who've inquired about fighting on our
Still
show.
continuing.
It's still coming in, and some of the guys that are asking us to fight are guys who've been on BKFC prospects, who've done really well on other shows and things like that. You know, so it's fantastic. Basically, we couldn't be any happier with how things are progressing. We really couldn't.
Yeah, fantastic. You talked quickly about the venue. Sorry, I just want to give a shout out there to Rick Doherty, who's donated £20 to in the red corner. My man Rick, an unofficial sponsor, RDS Transportation. Check him out on Instagram and get his number if you ever broke down. Hit him up. Appreciate it, Rick. Thank you, my man.
And I noticed he mentioned about coming up to a show one time, Rick. So yeah, if you ever want to come up, mate, give us a shout, and we'll make you more than welcome on our show, mate. Definitely.
Yeah, I'd love to bring him up as my guest, to be honest, if I could.
We'll sort that out for you, Ross. That's not a problem.
Perfect. There you go then, Rick, my man. Thank you very much.
You've got friends in high places, Rick.
Johnny G in the comments as well, who's going to be fighting on the show.
Yeah, that's Johnny Goodall.
Yeah, fantastic. James Wilson saying he cannot wait. Zach Davenport saying get on. John as well in there. Evening, Ross. Evening, John. Yeah, I mean, the venue, briefly, you talked about. It's in Workington, Cumbria. A lot of people coming from Whitehaven and things like that. And one of your sponsors has put buses on, hasn't he?
So the guys, it's actually the guys from CRL. Is obviously that we're working with for the building that we're using. These guys have done it because the money that they make off the bar, Ross, these guys give it to charity. They've got their own charity there, so it's a non-profitable bit like business for them, really. But they've let us use their facilities, and the money that these guys make all goes to charity. So with that money, obviously they're providing the support with buses, which we've got one going back to Working, one going back to Whitehaven, and they're doing round trips, which hasn't cost anybody a penny. It's all free. It's just added touches that we're trying again to look after our audience, our fans, these people that's coming to watch these gladiators battle, modern day gladiators. That's what they are, you know. So yeah, it's great. They're working with us good.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, and the support that you've had from other sponsors as well. There's an endless list. Do you want to give your sponsors a shout out?
Right. Do you know something?
We'll do half each.
We honestly couldn't do without these people, Ross. The support we've had from the business community has been absolutely phenomenal. So apologies if we just want to give shout out.
Sorry for putting in those. This is what helps pay the fight as well, because the fighters that come on the show, they're all paid fighters. They're not people that's got to sell tickets for us, or that's not how we work. We're looking to pay the lads what they're worth, and eventually, when we are a big business and established, we can pay the higher money. The BKFC wages, things like that. But without these guys, we wouldn't be able to pay the wages that we're doing, which we wouldn't have the fighters that we've got. So ultimately, a big thank you. Yeah, I
feel like a newsreader, so here goes Ross. Big thank you to the following businesses: Peyton Scaffolding, Atex Scaffolding, Little Vape Cave, Malibu Sunset, Bounty Competitions, Cloud Competitions, Chairman's Gym, Extreme Fitness Gym, Insta Blinds, Connor Smith Electrical, Eelbeck Motors, Maxwell Flooring, John Hogg Construction, The Strength Cartel, All Things Beautiful by Georgia, Fibre Telecom Limited, Lake District Raw Dog Food, and Leo's Bar of Workington.
Fantastic.
That concludes the draw for the FA Cup. So, yeah, that's pretty much all those guys.
Brilliant. It's a great listen. Like I say, it's great that the community is coming together and supporting the show and supporting you lads and us lads. I can't wait. I love it.
It's just all around, like I say. I mean, obviously, just everything. Like the local gyms are providing fighters for us, things like that. Just the whole community. Like we tonight, the fire service have asked us if can they be in attendance on the night. They were there at the first show, and it's just great to be able to work with like the emergency services and things like that as well. It's again, we just, it's all about the legitimacy of the event, the legitimacy of the sport, and like I say, I think BKB
is a second there.
A spot in Cumbria.
It was a professionalism that came from the last one as well. There was no trouble. It wasn't an arsenal tip job. Everything just went good. It was it was legit, you know, it was a good show. So, and we mean to carry on like that, but get bigger. It's that simple.
And just going back quick to sort of Dave, you know, you think about it, Dave is probably, and Danny on the night, are probably our most two valuable people, because they're the guys ultimately who are going to keep the fighters sace. And you look
thanks very much. Cheers,
at the last event, you know, Dave interjected perfectly all the time. You know, every time a fighter needed an intervention, if you look, every single stoppage that Dave made was bang on the money. You know, he perfectly judged when those fighters had nothing more to give and knew when to call the fights off and things like that. And him keeping our fighters safe is the most important job of anybody else's that we've got out there, basically. So it's a massive kudos to Dave for what he done on that first event. And
Peter's right there. I did nail it on the night, but he only said that to make up for making us feel second best to Danny. That's the only reason he said that there. So I'm only half accepting it, really.
Well, listen, we can't tell Danny that he's second best, because he'll probably fill us in, but you can't.
Well, he filled me in as well, to be fair, in this song. Yeah, fair play, you can have it.
You can do that twist you ever give us on your podcast, Dave.
I was just about to say, Dave, do you want to give your podcast a shout as well, mate?
Oh, yeah, I have got a podcast, the Ordered and Chaos podcast. I do it with my good friend Alex Cook, who was also with us when I cornered Kev down in London when he won that British title. Me and Kev and Alex have all trained together since God was a boy. We're a bit of a podcast. We talk about all sorts of stuff, all the important things, politics, killer whales attacking boats, that sort of stuff, random shit. Have a listen. I don't know.
Dave, you might know what is
it's our attempt at fixing the world's ills. It's not really working.
You'll have to them killer whales. I mean, they are a menace, aren't they? To be fair,
you know, they are the bloated bully boys of the sea. People think they're fucking cute at SeaWorld and that. Evil.
Every day is a school day we take, Ross.
It's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy against us all.
We do mention the odd conspiracy.
It's a podcast for another day. Make sure you've got plenty of drink beside you, whatever else you need.
Every Thursday we're going to do this. Going to have a couple of fighters on next week. I'll be getting out as well where I can and doing some filming with some of the fighters, which I'm really looking forward to. I can't wait for that.
I think you're coming to the gym with me and Bartek. That's right, isn't it? Is it next
Sunday? At some point, definitely. I think I give Bartek a date. I can't remember, but we're sort it out.
Look forward to that.
Yeah.
So I think our first podcast next week, Ross, is Bartek Kanabi and Nathan Thompson, who are our two featherweight title contenders. Bartek's obviously already the lightweight champion. He's looking to become double champ. And obviously Nathan's looking to take the featherweight belt off him, and it's safe to say, you know, Nathan doesn't lack confidence. No. So I think next week that'll be a very interesting podcast. You might need a referee for the podcast next week, to be honest with you, mate. You might need to get somebody in with a black and white striped shirt and a whistle to sort it all out. But
listen,
like
we're both pretty cocksure, aren't they?
For months, Nathan's been wanting this fight. I mean, I remember talking to him.
He has.
He nearly fought me to get the fight.
Yeah.
Honest. As soon as Bartek won on the first show, he was straight over to us. He was like, I want to fight him next. And you know, I think he
has his dream case from day one, hasn't he? And obviously, like, Bartek went down, didn't he? That's right. He said when Bartek went down away, and so Nathan's come with him, hasn't he?
Yeah, because like I said, I think last fight, he was about 75 kilo, but he's on course. I think he's down to about 68 kilo now, something like that, and he's well on course to make the 66 kilo limit.
Bartek's about 70 now. Never really took his foot off the gas.
Plenty of time. 8 weeks to get shot.
Oh,
slamming in that sauna.
Yeah. Again, he doesn't cut a lot of weight, Bartek. He can go down another weight, can't he? From 66, he can go down again. He makes the weight like effortlessly. That's why, to be fair, when he fought Kisane, it was a really good performance because really, like I said, Bartek should be somewhere around 61, 62 kilos for me, like, and he fought Sean at 70. And you see the size difference, it was a fair old bit, like. Again, Sean was a pretty big lump at 70. But he'll have the same thing now against Dan, won't he, Sean? Because Dan's even bigger. Because Dan is a big lad of boy.
Yeah. Like I said, Dan will be coming down quite a lot in weight, won't he?
Yes,
yeah, and he knows how to do the weight cut.
This is what these guys do, isn't it? This is their bread and butter. These lads know what to do, how to cut it, so that's their game.
Yeah, Sean was cornered by Luke Nevin as well, BKFC fighter Luke Nevin at that show.
Right.
Oh.
He was. It was brilliant. Aye. Hopefully, they might move on. Obviously, he's going to become double champ first, or Nathan's going to take that victory.
This is it.
Yes, that's it. It's a lot at stake on 23rd of March 2024.
It's all at stake.
It's
all at stake.
It is. It's all on the line, Ross. It's all on the line.
That's what Bartek's going to be. He's going to be Miz, because that's Polish for champ. So he's going to be champ.
We like it. Yeah, we'll keep
practicing Polish.
We'll keep feeding these fighters. We'll get the fighters on, and we'll continue their podcasts onwards now with the fighters. Start getting them promoted. We're going to do some training videos with them. So yeah, everyone keep posted. Yeah,
Wbkb on Instagram. Go over and follow them for all the information and things like that. Get your tickets from there. Dave, are you on Instagram as well? You are.
I am just Grind S&C. I've got an account there, and I'm actually on TikTok as well now. I have fuck all to do with it because I'm a 46-year-old man. But my daughter runs my TikTok because you've got to have all that bollocks now, haven't you? So she runs that, and she's probably going to run me Insta as well. But I do actually run me on YouTube. And there's bits on there for the guys that are bare knuckle fans and that. We put bits of Bartek's training on there. There'll be both his and more of Gary Taylor's training as well in the build up to the Wbkb show. We'll be showing a bit of that.
I don't mention your strength and conditioning as well that you've been doing. Obviously, you've got a strength and conditioning. Your strongman stuff, haven't you, as well?
That is what I do. That's how I make a living nowadays, isn't it? Getting people in shape to just be general wrecking balls. So yeah, if anyone's interested in some S&C stuff, give us a shout. I'm a boxing coach as well and do private lessons. So hit us up if you want any of that.
Brilliant, lads. Listen, thanks very much for coming on in the Red Corner podcast. Next week, we're going to try and get it so we can play it over on to the Wbkb Facebook as well at the same time. We'll look into that going forward. Appreciate you all coming on, and I'll speak to you next week, I suppose, won't I?
Thanks very much, Ross. Cheers, guys.
I'll see you all sometime soon. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, fantastic. Cheers, lads.
Cheers, guys. See you later. Bye.